Well, some people truly need no introduction. And our next speaker, Senator Joe Lieberman, was first elected to the United States Senate 20 years ago in an upset election and proceeded to immediately establish himself as the most popular politician probably in the state of Connecticut. But that's not his greatest accomplishment. I remember from my years in politics, the words political courage are thrown around a lot. You get political courage for casting votes that really are not all that risky for you if you think about it in the greater scheme of things. But in his career, Senator Lieberman has genuinely, consistently taken stands on both domestic policy issues and foreign policy issues that have genuinely put at risk his political career because he thought the good of the country was at stake. He is a genuine profile in courage, and it's a tremendous pleasure to introduce Senator Joe Lieberman.
Thank you. Thanks very much, and that was a very generous introduction. I was laughing to myself when you said I need no introduction, because some years ago here in Washington, I was at a gathering at which Henry Kissinger was the main speaker, and the individual who was to introduce him said, Henry Kissinger needs no introduction, so I introduce Henry Kissinger. Kissinger got up and said, I'd like to try his accent, but I can't do it. But he basically said, it is probably true. I don't need an introduction. But you know, I like a good introduction. So that was a very good introduction. And I thank you very much for it. You know, the Talmud teaches us that when we move to a new town, we should find ourselves a teacher, a mentor. And when I was moved to this new town as a United States Senator in 1989, I was very fortunate to find Max Kampelman, and he became my teacher and my mentor. I should say he is not accountable for anything I've done since, but I have benefited greatly from his friendship and his wisdom. I love this quote, and it actually embodies a lot in the program today. Max has written, quoting Sidney Hook, "No one who accepts the sovereignty of truth can be a foot soldier in any party or movement. He will always find himself out of step." Now when people ask me why I do the things I do, I'm going to say, people say, what kind of Democrat are you? From now on I will say I am a Max Kampelman Democrat. What better thing to be? Max's life, I think, is characterized by a profound and motivating love for America. He's the product of a generation of immigrants who, unlike many of us today who were fortunate to be born of parents who were born in America, had something to compare American life to. And the other place was not so good. And this place was great because of the freedom and opportunity it provided to, and has continued to provide to, succeeding generations of new Americans. Max took that gratitude for the opportunity that America gave him and the ensuing love affair he had with America, and turned it into a most remarkable career of public citizenship. I think in that, I was thinking about both John Negroponte and Jim Billington in some sense talked about borders and American ideals. I think Max always has understood that this extraordinary country was defined right from the beginning, not based on our borders or land area, but on the values that animated and motivated our founders, and stated most powerfully in the early words in the Declaration of Independence about the endowment that we all have of the rights to life and liberty. And that endowment, that American mission, if you will, is clearly not just, the Creator didn't just endow those rights to us who happen to be Americans. It was clearly a universal declaration and endowment of human rights. And Max has, through his life, quite remarkably, both thanked the United States for the opportunities it has given him, but extended the blessings of liberty to people throughout the world. And there's powerful instruction for all of us in that. The second thing I think that Max has done is known that the nation itself and the ideals on which it's based are, as that wonderful quote from Sidney Hook said, more important than party. Party is important, but ultimately it's service to the nation that counts. I love the comment that Max made when President Reagan reappointed him to head the delegation to the Conference on Security and Cooperation in Europe. When his Democratic friends asked Max, "How can you work for Reagan?" he replied, "As a nation, we only have one president at a time." And Reagan was that president, and I strongly supported his foreign policy, so I was proud to work for him. That, too, in a very partisan time, I think is a message for all of us who are privileged to serve in public life in our country today. I thank the National Endowment for Democracy for all the good work it does and for expressing its understanding of the work it does by honoring a real American hero in Max Kampelman. I thank you, Max, for more than a half-century of work on behalf of our nation and the cause of democracy and human rights, which will always be America's cause. Congratulations for this award, and God bless you in the years ahead. Thank you very much.